Hello everybody, welcome to the Guilty Gear Strive review. This is for the Deluxe and Ultimate Edition for the PS5 and PS4, and of course, I'm here to bring you guys my thoughts and opinions on it. And since we've been playing Guilty Gear Strive for so long, this is a bit of a weird case because we've already played Beta 1, Beta 2, Closed Beta, and all that, and it's been an absolute blast. I've really felt like I've been playing this game pretty much for the last year and a half, and we're definitely feeling those effects as we go into Strive because it's all second nature. You already see every player doing the same stuff we've been doing, figuring new stuff out on the fly. The discovery phase for this game is going to go over, I feel like, a lot faster. The question is how many of us are going to stick with it, right? I think that's kind of what we're thinking about going into Strive. But for the most part, enough rambling. Let's get straight into the review. I know that's what you guys are here for. So yeah, the Guilty Gear Strive story mode, and I think it's great. It's a fun time. It's a high quality MMD. It's hokey, it's pokey, it's funny, and overall it's a good time, right? The story really works. It's sappy, it's cute, and I loved how all the characters interact with each other. It's got some great cinematic moments and it's some fun dialogue. It's just a standout time. And if you're a new player coming in, don't feel too worried about not playing the other Guilty Gear games. There's a full timeline, glossary, and affinity chart in the game to help teach you all the ins and outs of what's going on in the Guilty Gear lore, and it's very helpful and does a great job of just quickly breaking stuff down for you. And the story mode actually does a pretty good job without flashing back or anything, of telling you subtly about, hey, these are kind of the cues you should watch out for when it comes to certain character moments and, world building moments and stuff. So it's a standout job to me. I think it's a really great story, and so far from what I've been watching of it, because it is very long, it's pretty fun and we are all enjoying it at this moment. Moving on, we have the Guilty Gear Strive mission and tutorial modes. These are the big things to help new players get into the game, and yeah, I can't complain. It stand out. It was even teaching the players that have been playing since beta all this new stuff, man. There is a lot of great tech in here. The game teaches you literally everything about its systems for the most part. You know all about wall teching and when to wall splat and when not to wall splat. You know about all the things of when to bait burst, what type of characters and gatlings you can interrupt during combos, what moves are safe on block, what moves aren't safe on block, what block streams are true and which are fake, etc. And these types of things, and teaching new players exactly what to do in circumstances with their character, goes a long way of just making the entire playing field even when they go for the online experience, and more so ever with the awesome netcode. So it's a really standout mode, and I even recommend, if you're an experienced fighting game player, to give it a shot, because it's going to teach you and train you into a lot of new stuff. It's really awesome. And while we're at it, add training mode to that too. They have a whole combo recipe system so people can see exactly what moves are being used in a combo and the timing of which of they should be used. If there's a little mini delay or something, because they are, in the combo, you'll see it on that combo recipe as it's building. So posting those types of clips online goes a long way of helping players figure out exactly what they need to do when it comes to pulling out certain strings. It's extremely great teaching tools to help further advance our characters' metas, and that's awesome stuff to me personally. Moving on from that aspect, I think the training mode overall is just stand out. My biggest gripe with it is the fact that there is no in-game frame data for some odd reason. I looked everywhere and I could not find which moves are going to be plus on block, which moves are negative, etc. And that's very frustrating, especially for characters that are all melee focused or heavy rush down, etc. So hopefully they do add that in the near future, not in a season pass 1 update or something crazy like that. Hopefully in the near future, like July or something, we get that frame data update and we can finally start breaking down these characters without having to rely on frame data tables and whatnot. This should all be second nature when it comes to launch, and I'm getting a little sick of these fighting games adding all this core building block stuff we need for training mode later towards the end of the game's lifespan, usually by the time the player base is already kind of falling off or whatnot. I feel like it's very important to have these tools there from the jump, especially when releases like Virtua Fighter 5 were doing it, and games like that right out the gate. So hopefully they listen to our calls and that gets added very soon, but a little bit of a frustrating thing. Moving on, we do have to talk about the game's presentation, right? I think it is a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous title. It looks stunning. The character animations are flawless, the hit sparks are punchy, and when you hit enemies, they feel like they are getting rocked. Their world is absolutely getting annihilated. You see the entire screen shake and it just feels punchy, right? Even better are the super moves you get to use throughout the game, the overdrives, and you see these really awesome facial expressions, and it goes into this big wind-up attack and it just looks sick to do. And of course you have the wall break where people are sent flying through the wall and they're flailing their arms or rolling on the ground at supersonic speeds, and you dash in there yo, round 2, let's go. The tension bar comes up, it says as positive. It just feels great to pull off a lot of the maneuvers throughout the title. My biggest issue, I feel like, is the UI a little bit. It's just a little stale, right, for Guilty Gear standards. It's a little plain, a little boring, feels a little bit like a mobile game, and you know, it's fine. It does its job. It really does a good job of showing exactly what you need to see at exactly the times you need to see it, and it never feels like there's too much going on or too little going on, but it works. The just downside is just not really stylized, which is what you kind of come to expect with the Guilty Gear. That's my only gripe, especially when they put all that effort into stylizing their lobbies, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but didn't really go through the effort with the UI. It feels like it has a very distinct kind of I won't say cheap, but like budget style. That's a big issue though. That's not a big deal. It's fine. Again, it works. Again, the only issue is the combo counter. It's really massive and takes up the whole screen half the time, and yeah, I won't lie, it gets a little annoying. I mean, I'm personally kind of okay with it, but it does get a little annoying as a new player. The other issue is the counter states you hit. If you hit a counter state in the game and there's this giant white letters that tell you, the camera will kind of pull in and show you, hey, this is your time to do a big attack. And I think that's actually really cool. The downside is sometimes the camera gets a little too stuck. It's a little like, hey, what's going on here? Why is your combo still going on? It's a counter state, and the camera's kind of like stuck there, and with rollback, sometimes it'll start bouncing around between the two stances while you're doing a combo. And you can imagine that can get not only a little nauseating, but also just a little frustrating as a player. It's like, hey, I'm trying to see if this is a wall breaker or not, or I'm trying to see if I can carry him to a certain area or not. What's going on here, man? So you do have to remember and kind of start memorizing a lot of that muscle memory to kick in when it comes to certain situations like that, which again, to me, feels like it's kind of muddling the gameplay and the UI, and you never want to trade the UI or presentation for the gameplay aspects, especially in a fighting game, in my opinion. Yeah, but despite that, it's a really standout system. It looks great. It feels awesome to do stuff, and that's all you can ever ask for in these types of fighting games, right? However, there is one gripe we have to talk about, and it's the online experience. Let's keep it 100, guys. We all know the online experience for this game has been quite a rocky start from beta 1, beta 2, and of course, especially the closed beta. I hate to break it to you, it somehow gets somewhat worse to me with the full game's release. I have ran into a myriad of issues from the game's launch, and I'm not going to bash it or say the netcode's bad or anything, because that's not where this is going. The netcode is actually very, very good. It's still awesome rollback, and it feels nice when I'm playing a match. It does. There's a couple issues I've had with people's connections because they're on that garbage McDonald's Wi-Fi, but what can you do about that? It rolls back frames, you lose the match, and you just gotta leave them and keep it pushing, right? Regardless, I really did enjoy the overall netcode experience. The biggest gripe I have is in trying to get into a match. That's where the issue lies. Getting into a lobby is so cumbersome and so frustrating and so slow. You click on the online menu, you wait a good minute or two to load in a game that's all about fast loading when you go into versus or anything offline. You finally get into a lobby, you wait through some more loading, you hop on a duel station only to be told couldn't initialize match, couldn't find R code, couldn't do this, kick you back out to the main menu. I need to learn Soul. He looks like a ton of fun to play, dog. I'm still it didn't look like they took out too much stuff from him. Unable to queue for the new master to what does that mean? Stop telling me that. What do you mean maximum number of matches? I just started fighting. You get the gist. There's so many issues, and this isn't a one-off thing. This happened to me throughout the entire game. The amount of matches I've played versus the time I've spent staring at this lobby system or staring at training mode boggles my mind, because it's not many. It's frustrating that I just want to get in there and play, and I want to hurry up and rank up and get to Celestial 4 as fast as possible. I'm dealing with all of this other stuff that just makes it for a really frustrating experience personally, and I hope they get this squared off very, very soon, because all the stuff we were complaining about in the last one, it's just like, what happened over the the course of the time. So hopefully again they get to work and things get better, but as of now, that's kind of the state it's in. It's a little rough, but again, when it gets to the bare bones and getting into a match, it does feel very good. So that is all for my complaints on that. No more issues. And finally, I know you guys are here for the big boy complaint, because I made a whole stink about it with the gameplay, right? Remember beta 2? I said the backdashes were whack. The Gatlings didn't feel good. Soul's a little too busted. Eno's a little too weak, etc. And you know what? Some of that I still stand by. Some of that was just beta scrubbery. But let's talk about it. Let's go in now. That's the full game. It's still early days, so I won't go too into character specifics, but we'll talk about the gameplay as a Giovanna main, and I have to say, yeah, they did a great job. They finally nailed it. to me, this is like the perfect feeling of Strive. The backdash nerfs or whatever, or buffs that they've added back in, they feel okay. Now the backdashes don't feel like nearly as stifling. If you backdash, I can't just like run up and instantly like literally dash up and start beating you. Now it's like, oh, I actually have to respect the backdash a little bit. I gotta like, okay, you could press a button really fast now again, and there's many ways you could cover it now. It doesn't just feel like something that people just throw it on the fly and then get absolutely blown up for like in beta 2. Here, it does feel relatively good. It's back to being its normal movement speed, and I thought that was fine. And the overall flow of matches feels good. Now, jumping back is still a little busted in my opinion, and there's some stuff in there that's just a little annoying to deal with, especially when it comes to like Axel mains throwing their chain around and just jumping back. A giant danger comes up telling them, hey, your tension's about to go down, and they just keep doing it. Like they can't even comprehend that fact. And in my opinion, in a game like Strive, like I recommended before, just kill their meter out the gate, dog. Like literally, if they're dangering that much, they already backdashed way too many times. Just kill the meter, bro. Like in a game like this, I feel like instead of trying to do the gradual decline of meter and then kill it after a negative penalty, they should straight up just axe your meter. Like it's gotta go, because the stuff it's the only way I feel like to get new players to understand you can't just mash this and get away with it for free and be able to, when I finally close the gap, just wake up with an overdrive. Like that's a little frustrating because you spend a good chunk of it trying to get in for damage, you finally get that damage, and then you finish it and they just wake up with an invincible super, and it's like, dang, that's a little frustrating, especially because in previous games I could just stifle it, like, oh, he's supering, I'm gonna just mash punch, and it knocks him out of it usually half the time. So just personally speaking, it's a little bit of a gripe, also a little bit of just, you have to respect people's like wake up options and stuff too, but again, that's just me. Overall, it's still a good time. I thought the combat system feels good. It is still very limited, yes, compared to Accent Core or Exard, but even then, I mean, let's keep it a buck. Like even Exard to Accent Core has its changes, has its issues, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like those games are, you know, exactly the same or more complex than the other, right? Like I'm not here to argue that. What I'm here to argue is what fighting game feels good to play to you right now, and to me, it is Strive. It feels good to hit stuff in Strive. It feels nice to do combos, learn the delays, and figure out the timings of each Gatling I want to do to go into some crazy stuff. Actually sit down and explore these characters. They are not as one note as everyone says. Yes, we don't have punch, kick, slash, heavy slash anymore. However, what we do have is close slash, far slash, heavy slash, into whatever you want. Or depending on the character you play, close slash, forward command normal, wait for a little bit of a delay, do another forward command normal, wait for a little bit of delay again, kick, quarter circle back, all this crazy tech you can find. Just gotta sit down and figure out the character. All you people that think like Giovanna is super easy to pick up and play and she doesn't have any tech or she's too simple, yeah, you would think that if all you did was crouching light and spinning back kick and no RC. There's a lot of tech to her, man. A lot of tech to all the characters in the game, and I want you guys to understand that. Yes, it is not the old Guilty Gears, and if you want to play the old Guilty Gears, boot up Steam. But as of right now, the new Guilty Gear's got a lot of fun stuff in it too, and I don't feel like I'm going to get much bored of it. There's just so many routes that I've found already that are like my own routes. I'm doing stuff that's creative to my character, not seeing, you know, stuff that I've seen like Dragon Ball FighterZ where everyone's doing the same combo, everyone has kind of the same route. Here, we all are finding different routes, finding different combos, mix-up timings, fast RCs as cancels into crazy combo strings. Like, there is a lot of tech. You just gotta dig down into it, man. You just gotta sit down and dedicate the time. And once you dedicate the time, we're in for a great ride. I'm really looking forward to see where this game is going to evolve over the next couple years, especially with the whole wall tech system. It's really fun, is what I'm getting at. I'm really looking forward to playing Guilty Gear Strive so much more throughout the course of these years, and I'm really excited to see who they're going to add into the game to mix up the gameplay style. Is anyone overpowered right now? Absolutely. Ram, Lethal, and Soul instantly come to mind. These guys are busted. Giovanna as well. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm definitely carried, and I'm thankful for it. That character is absolutely busted. Thank the Lord. I'm not going to sit here and whine, you feel me? But it's a really standout time. I really enjoy Guilty Gear Strive, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm having fun. I'm really finding this newfound enjoyment I haven't had even during those last betas. It's like, this is sick. I'm learning so much stuff with this character and so much tech with this character that I can't get over it, right? I'm like, oh, wait, how do I do this? Can we convert off of that? Can we RC this? It's like this discovery phase that we've been in for like the last year and a half is just like really kicking into overdrive, and I'm just invested. I'm really digging it, and I can't wait to see again what the competitive kind of routes for this game are going going to look like? What is it going to look like on a competition scale? What are our matches going to be? Are we best of 3? Are we best of 5? Is it first to 3, etc.? There's so much crazy stuff that's going to happen with this game, and I cannot wait to continue playing it and see more. So yeah, what I'm getting at is Guilty Gear Strive is a pretty standout vanilla package for once. I think it's really worth the price of admission. I'm really looking forward to the characters they're adding, and there's all sorts of tiny sprinkling of goodies that they throw in there too, if you're wondering. They got a whole jukebox mode in this game, man. If you don't like the Strive OST, then go listen to the old stuff, right? You don't like how characters are neutered, just go play Soul and Strive. You feel me? Like, there's so many things that they've done in this game that feel very good, and I can't wait to delve into more of it. And there's, again, so much fan service and love put into everything that I just can't help but see, yeah, you guys did a really great job. And again, the rollback is very helpful because now I want to grind it. Now I want to keep playing. Now I want to figure some stuff out, and I want to respect the game and its systems and my opponents a lot more. So yeah, overall a great time. I really recommend picking up Guilty Gear Strive. I really want you guys to check this one out and further sink your teeth into it. And that's going to do it for this video, essentially, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Get sticky with the channel. And before you go, do not leave. I want you guys to stay locked here. We got a bunch of stuff coming. Phantasy Star Online 2 is about to drop. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We got all these things to react to like June 10th and forward. And the best place to get the hypest reactions and the most fun suave caster, if I do say so myself, is Young Falcon's channel. Share it with your friends. Share it with the homies. Subscribe and lock it down. I wish you all the best and hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.